I went from working at Chili's to making over $10,000 a month as a fine dining server in Las Vegas. And getting to that point wasn't easy, but it was really actually quite simple. Because in the restaurant business, there's no promotions and there's no raises. You get your minimum wage, but the tips are on you. And the harder you work, the better you are at your job, the more money you will make along the way. Now, the hardest part of all of it, for me at least, was listening to everyone else, asking me, when am I going back to school? When am I going to get a real job? And for a long time, I let those voices get in my head, and I didn't take it as seriously as I could or as I should. And it was when I decided to really look at it as a career and to embrace the fact that I just love working in restaurants. And I believe that restaurant work is noble, and I believe that we're not getting replaced by AI anytime soon. I switched my mindset around and I started pushing to get better at my job. And I would like to take you on the path of how I got there. Because the normal progression is to start at a casual restaurant. For me, it was Chili's. Chain place, pretty easy to get hired at, great spot to get your foot in the door. And you move up from there. You trade in your lunch shifts for your dinner shifts. You trade in mid shifts for opens and closes. You trade in Tuesdays and Wednesdays for Fridays and Saturdays. And then when you've maxed out all of that, you trade in that job for a new job. Now, the normal progression is to start at that casual type place, find somewhere a little bit more upscale, a little bit higher price point, or a little bit higher volume. And then you move up to that higher volume or higher price point again. Because here's a quick breakdown of the math. If you're working 5 days a week, you need to make $400 a day to make $2,000 a week to make $100,000 a year. Now you can make it on volume or you can make it on price point. And I think that out of the two, making it on price point is the better quality of life that goes along with it. Now, you can always do it from two jobs as well. If you're willing to hustle and you can find that $150 a day lunch shift with that $250 a day dinner shift to go along with it, there's your 400. But there are also plenty of restaurants out there where the check average is $100+ per person, which is really going to increase your income ceiling. Now, some of the best places to find those higher check averages and some of the easier places to get hired are steakhouses. The menus are pretty consistent across the board. You don't need to know another language or a huge amount about food to get your foot in the door. And the best part is, there are a lot of them out there. If you look at chain restaurants in that $100 per person price point, most of them are steakhouses, and they're going to be in big cities in every single state in the country. If you look at Eddie V's Steakhouse, they've got 29 locations. The Palm has 30. And those are the smaller ones. You've got Capitol Grill with 62 locations, Fleming's with 65, Morton's with 72, and Ruth's Chris has 150 locations around the world. These are spots to aim for as you're moving up. But in order to move up, you have to look at what you do from a very analytical perspective, because a lot of people think that they're the best server. That's a very generic and very bold statement. What are you the best at? Now, when I was a kid, I wanted to grow up and be a Major League Baseball player. And that didn't happen. Here I am. But you know what? It gives a different perspective. Because if you look at a baseball card and you flip it on the back, you've got all those stats of different categories. Because one person is not the best at everything. But the stats on the back of that card let you look at each type of metric and see where you rank against your coworkers, where you rank against other people, and where you rank against yourself at your last job or even just your last shift. So what does a baseball card look like for servers? Well, here's a way to look at it. I put 8 different categories on here. And these are 8 different points that you can judge yourself on and try to improve on a day-to-day basis. Number 1 is hospitality, because we work in a business where you get about an hour and a half to turn a stranger into a friend or turn that guest into a regular. And that's going to keep your station full night after night. The actual service is number 2. Are you hitting your courses? Are you hitting your accurate steps? Are you getting your timing down? Is your mise en place in place? Are you pre-bussing your tables? All those things make for a better guest experience. Number 3 is accuracy, because mistakes cost you time and cost you and the restaurant money. Ringing your food properly, process your payments accurately, handle that cash every time. Number 4 is volume. Can you handle getting double sat, triple sat, or more? Can you take large parties, 10, 15, 20, and accurately find your way through them with a minimal amount of help? Number 5, the menu. How well do you know yours? If someone has a dietary restriction or an allergy, can you find your way through the meals that they're able to eat? Can you recommend a cocktail or a glass of wine that's going to be appropriate for what they're looking for and goes with their dinner? Number 6, are you a good teammate? Are you handling your section? Are you helping out your coworkers when they get busy? Are you doing your side work and your polishing? Do people actually like working with you? Number 7, what do you know about food? Not just what's on your menu, but can you talk in detail about different types of steak or seafood or the best bite of food you had, even if it's at a different restaurant? And number 8, wine and spirits. Not just what's on your menu, but if somebody orders a classic cocktail or a prohibition drink, can you walk them through the ingredients and find what they're looking for? If somebody has a favorite wine that you don't serve, can you make that great recommendation and find something on your list that they are going to love? It takes a whole lot of humility to look at yourself in all these different aspects and think about the things that you can do better. But if you're willing to take that time and reflect on it and treat serving like a career and be better than you were the day before, you're going to be on that path to making $5,000, $10,000 a month or more. I hope you'll follow along.